It's absolutely miserable this morning. It's been raining in the night and the wind's howling in the trees, and there's some dark, thick, dark clouds over in the east there. And it's not the weather that I was expecting. I was expecting incredible heat, baking sun and dust. But it looks like November has arrived early in October. So I'm not that hopeful we're going to see a lot today, because the wind keeps the birds down low, the coolness keeps the animals down low, and it's just harder to see in this light. And because there's water on the ground, the animals can lick it off leaves and out of little puddles. They're not going to be compelled to visit the water holes where we're waiting. So I think it's going to be a tough day, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be a good day. Well, there definitely are rewarding experiences just to be had in the campsites and the camps of Kruger National Park, because it's not true that the wildlife always stay outside the fences. Sometimes there's quite a lot of activity inside. Things like these guineafowl, owls, wildcat, honey badgers, mongoose, ground squirrels, all sorts of animals. It's been a late start this morning, but there's no urgency in weather like this. The animal behaviour is hardly likely to change that much, and the light certainly isn't changing. So I've had time for a cup of coffee, a wander around the Punda Maria campsite in the drizzle, and now I think I'm going to head off and see what I can see on the Mahonie Loop around Punda Maria. Don't get me wrong, this weather can actually make for some pretty nice shots. There's an atmosphere to it as the rain sweeps in and swathes across the landscape and the wind picks up. There's a murkiness and an evaporativeness to the backgrounds as the water gets sucked up out of the ground again. And the hills are obscured, the trees are obscured, they sort of fade into this ghostliness. And that can be cool when you set off large mammals against it. And I think what helps in this light and in this weather is that telephoto compression of the background, especially if you can keep some of the background in the shot just to suggest that it's there. That can be quite nice. I think that's probably what I'm going to have to go for here today. I bought these biscuits yesterday because I thought I might be peckish. They're called Eat Some More. And I opened them about 15 minutes ago because I thought I was peckish, I'll have one or two. And I've eaten the entire packet. It's an absolute disaster. I'm not going to buy any more Eat Some More. If you see me with these in the rest of this trip, I've failed. I packed a bag of carrots in my fridge, and those are now going to be my snack of choice. It's not just about wildlife for me out here. It's also the general vibe as well. There's a wonderful pungent aroma of elephant wafting through the cabin, which is great. This whole woodland is permeated with it. And that atmosphere continues as I drive up this sort of upland valley. There's tall trees with grey trunks and leafy green canopies set off beautifully against the mountainsides. And it's so atmospheric. I love it. I don't have to be out here filming wildlife to enjoy myself. It's just soul releasing to be in this environment pretty much on my own. I haven't seen anyone else this entire morning, and I've been driving 3 hours now. And the new leaf on the bushes is beautiful, that bright green, and then some patches are older where there hasn't been rain and you get these yellow brown leaves, and they look like flowers against the green, and there's this clash of spring and autumn playing out as the drizzle falls on me. And every now and then in the sepulchral silences, a bird calls an alarm, or an elephant squeals like a little while back, and it just brings it home that I'm here, I'm in Basil, and I'm in deepest Africa. I'm underneath a fig tree, and it's laden with fruit. And I remember coming here 4 or 5 years ago and sitting under this tree for 40 minutes, an hour, just watching all the birds flying in and out and partaking of this bounty. But on this rainy, wet Monday afternoon, actually morning still, feels like a Monday afternoon, there's not a bird in this tree that I can see anywhere. Some people have commented that they enjoy the fact that I capture smaller animals sometimes on this channel, and they've asked me how I actually go about doing that. And I can't really say there's a big secret. It's a accident of what I do here, because I spend long periods silently sitting in the middle of nowhere with nothing particular going on. I'll stop the car in order to get tight shots of foliage and B-roll and atmosphere and environment. I'll take a sound sample, and during that long period where the engine isn't running, I'll be able to hear and feel part of the environment. I'm able to smell it too. And that way I'm able to notice things happening around me that perhaps you don't notice as much as if you're driving continuously, just using your sight to look for animals. So my secret is, because I'm busy making these films, I'm able to see some things that people don't generally see that much of. It's unpleasant driving around in the cold and the wet with the windows open and the wind blasting through the cabin, but I feel it's important to stay connected with the environment, especially smells. And I just got a whiff of rotten carcass come through the window. So I stopped to have a scan around to see if I could locate it, because you never know. If you can find a rotting carcass, the chances are there may be some scavengers nearby. Now, sadly the bush is too thick. I can't see it. It's probably a little bit far away. But there is something dead out there, and it could be a resource for some animal like a jackal or a hyena. There's a pair of Duiker buried in there, small antelope, very secretive. Really nice to see them, and I just happened to see them as I was stopping doing a piece to camera. Here's an opening. Let's try and get a shot of these guys. Nice to see two together, listening to me. very hard to pick them out of the dense foliage. They're really amazingly well concealed, considering they're sort of a greyish colour. There's actually 3 of them there, and as I was talking, one jumped out of the bushes and ran away. Incredible sense of hearing and smell, and they don't mind the vehicles so much because they see them track up and down this road, but the talking really bugs them. I think they're probably all scarpered.